Hello there guys and welcome to our next class for the fourth unit. Just like you know, this is a class that is part of BYS School and 9th BYS. We are working on the subject biology and this is week number 30. Let's start with our presentation and let's go over our end in mind. Students will be able to create an explanatory video about the evidence of evolution. And here you have a summary of the activities that you need to complete. Number 1, read and summarize lesson number 2. Number 2, make an explanatory YouTube video about the topic. Number 3, complete the book exercises. And number 4, make a compilation of your work and upload it to Educativa. In the compilation of your work, make sure to include everything. Summary, of course, the exercises from your book, and the link to your YouTube video. All right, and we are going to discuss about the evidence of evolution from pages 176 to 179. So this interesting animal or species that you can see right over here is going to be our main topic for today, let's say. So how is this animal related to evolution? So in 2004, scientists discovered a fossil which they named Tiktaalik. They theorized it inhabited Earth 375 million years ago. It has characteristics of both fish and four-legged animals. So, just to give you a small background on evolution and everything. So, scientists theorized that life started in water in the form of bacteria. Then, after bacteria started evolving, it started mixing with other bacteria, they generated a fish-like animals, let's say. But if there was this question that scientists couldn't answer before finding this specific animal, or Tiktaalik, if you want to call it like that. So, how did this fish-like species evolve or change into animals that could actually inhabit a land or portions of ground that do not include a lot of water? So they could answer this question thanks to the fossil they found, thanks to Tiktaalik, because then they actually had some more evidence to relate to adaptation and mutations. So this fish, or this Tiktaalik species, actually evolved from being a fish to being a four-legged animal that could actually go to the land that we know nowadays. So this is something interesting because, of course, is the main evidence on how all of the animals that inhabited our land today came from. It provides evidence about the way marine animals started to adapt to ground-like habitats. And Tiktaalik would use its fins to reach the ground in search of food resources. So this is something pretty common in the adaptation of animals. Food is one of the main components or one of the main resources that are going to determine the way animals are going to adapt. So in this case, probably Tiktaalik didn't find enough food resources on the sea. But it had to adapt in order to find food in other places around, such as the ground-like habitats. And, well, we're going to have a round of memes that are related to Tiktaalik. They have been out for a couple of months. Probably you have seen some of them, probably you haven't. Thanks to this dude, you have to study and work nowadays. And just like it says, everybody gets till the fish starts walking. So this is another variation of the famous meme, everybody gets until the cockroach starts flying. But yeah, so if we analyze the evolution, of course, we are all here because of the guy that you see right there, because of Tiktaalik. Because, of course, he was a precursor of life in the ground-like habitats. And here I have some more memes about him. So Tiktaalik walked on land for the first time 375 million years ago. So fin will be leg. Like fin, the ones that a fish used to swim around, will be leg. So they could combine them both. Our evolution will be legendary. And it actually was. There have been a lot of variety of species, such as giraffes, monkeys, wolves, dogs, cats, humans, and many more. And this is another good one. time travel invented. Girls, oh my god, I'm going to meet my younger self. Oh my god, yes. And the boys, get back in water, loser. Like, we don't want to study and work nowadays, so Titanic, please go back to water. Right, let's see, we have some more right here. Atheists be like, this is my dad. Yeah, because technically, if we think about evolution like species, and of course, going back to what I was telling you before, a lot of species came from, well, all species came from a fish or from fish-like specimens. So technically, this will kind of be our forerunner if we are talking merely about evolution. We have another one. Christians, evolution is a lie. Sad dictalic noise. And this is another interesting topic to debate about. Of course, a topic between the creation of life or the coincidence of life, let's say, the scientific point of view and the religious point of view. So if I remember about it, probably we can discuss. That'll be something great. That'll be something great to do in class, okay? Let's continue. Let's see if I have some more memes right here. Oh, we're going to continue with some more evidence. So, this is something amazing to think about. So, you know that, of course, all the new offspring that are generated start from an embryo or a simple life form, let's say. And what you can see right over here are the embryos from many different species, but they are very similar. We're talking about salamander. This one is human, rabbit, chicken, and fish. So they are all pretty similar, or they look pretty alike. So scientists theorize that at some point in history, all of these species actually were developed from the same offspring, or from the same species. And over time, of course, it changed a lot. And we're going to talk a little bit about fossils. The fossils provide scientists with evidence about how different ancient species were and the way they evolved throughout time. Similarities in early development, which is what I was telling you about the similarities in the embryos. Scientists have found that several organisms are quite similar during the early stages of their life. It has been found that many have a tail. You can observe that right here, all of them have a small tail, which later on might or might not disappear. And it has been found that they have a tail and a row of tiny slits along their throats. You can see like this little cumulus, let's say, or there's different layers under their face, if you want to see it like that. So, one more time, they are all present in the different species. This suggests that they come from a common ancestor. All right, and here you have another overview of what evolution looks like in reality. So, of course, we have a lot of fish-like species. And we have sharks, we have ray-finned fishes, we have coelacanth, we have lungfish, and right over here, at this point, we have the tiktaalik. Unfortunately, nowadays, it is extinct, but we have found several fossils that actually give us evidence that it actually existed. And one more time, it was like a kind of fish that could be, of course, in the ocean, but it also had several limbs to actually go on the land and search for more food. So after the tiktaalik evolved, or after it appeared, we are going to find many other animals, such as amphibians, mammals, lizards, and some other relatives, right? But basically, they are four legs evolved, like animals, let's say. All right, and now we have some similarities in body structure. And this is something astonishing, because scientists have started to study the different structures in the bones of several animals. And they have come to the conclusion that actually they are quite similar. So, for example, right over here we have four different species. We have humans, cat, whale, and bats. And we are going to be guiding ourselves by the colors. We're going to start with the humerus. And it is colored by color purple. or sky blue, let's say. But you can notice that each one of them has like a start. And this is the kind of bone that is at the top of all of the bone structures that you can see right here. Then we can continue with the radius, which is the orange color. And of course, it is present in each one of them. Here is the radius in the human structure, in the cat structure, in the whale structure, and lastly in the bat structure. We have ulna, we have carpals, metacarpals, and phalanges. And one more time, you can stop the image for a little bit longer and actually notice that even though they might look differently, at the end, it's the same structure that has changed over time, which, one more time, is evidence that science provided us with. And of course, that let us know that at some point in history, we came from the same ancestor. So homologous structures are similar bone structures that are found in different animal species. Dogs' legs, birds' wings, and dolphins' flippers are examples of them. One more time, we are expanding a little bit more the topic regarding the bone structure. That suggests they come from a common ancestor. All right, and what similarities can you spot in the DNA and protein structure? Please go to page 179. And this is quite interesting to analyze. One more time, the question is, what similarities can you spot in the DNA and protein structure? That is located in page 179. Well, we're going to discuss a little bit more about this during our live session in Zoom. So make sure you actually complete this exercise. Oh, all right, and that's about it for the class today. Thank you a lot for coming, and I will see you in a couple of minutes during our live session. Goodbye, everyone, and always take care.